Hello and welcome along to round 3 of the MotoGP eSport Championship. The Global Series is back once again for races 5 and 6 of the 2021 series. Coming to you this afternoon from Phillip Island and the Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli. And you join us with the championship all tied up at the top. It could not get any closer. 4 riders separated by only 9 points. It couldn't get any tighter, Jack.
No, it certainly couldn't. It is certainly quite spicy at the top indeed this year in the Global Series. 4 of them, and in the 4 races that we've had, it's produced 4 different race winners as well. And I think, Jack, tonight we may well see the 5th or even the 6th different race winner too. So tonight then, 2 fantastic race circuits coming up for you, and I'm sure that our eSport gamers are raring to get going.
Yeah, they certainly are. All 11 of them are with us once again, all representing the 11 MotoGP teams that you see out there every weekend. So without further ado, let's welcome them all on screen for you now so you can get to know them, from riders topping the championship down to 11th. Of course, remember that double points are available at our final round, so all 11 of them are still with a shot of being crowned our 2021 champion. So hello, gents. I know you've already waved, Jack. Well done. Good luck this afternoon, lads.
Yeah, certainly. So that's enough talk about this time. Let's catch you up back on what happened last time as well. Round 2 of the Global Series. There was certainly plenty of action to keep you entertained, and this is exactly what happened there. We went to the Saxon Ring for the first ever wet race in MotoGP eSport global history, and it certainly delivered, that is for sure, Jack.
Yeah, it didn't disappoint whatsoever. 2 Ducatis fighting at the top. Rookie Riccardo Battaro in the end having to give way to our 2019 king Andrew ZH, but there was a fierce fight for the final podium places, with Britain's Jack Hammer just edging out Riccardo Battaro. From then, we moved on to sunnier conditions to the Red Bull Ring.
Yep, and it was Williams Christian that was on pole, actually setting a fantastic lap time, but it all went wrong on turn 4, where he slipped back down the order. Trastevere had work to do as he came back through the pack, but it looked as though Piero Ricciuti may well just hang on for his first race victory.
And he did, the LCR man, making it 4 out of 4 at the start of 2021. A historic start to our Global Series means this is what the championship looks like. As we said, 9 points separating the top 4, with Trastevere, our only 2-time king, the man leading the way at the moment, but only just. That's the lay of the land then, heading into round 3 of the Global Series. Tonight, races 5 and 6, and I know we've said it a couple of times, but we will go on about it again because 9 points separate just 4 riders. It's the closest it has ever been in the MotoGP eSport Championship. And to put some context towards that, Jack, of course, at the final round of the year, double points are on offer, which means that 10 points will split the riders finishing 1st and 2nd. So somebody 4th could quite easily jump up to the top of the standings by the time we get there. But let me just say, that is a big if. I'm sure there's plenty that's going to happen tonight which will change the picture of those title standings. But as we've said, Jack, if I was a betting man, would not want to be putting any money on anybody at this point in time, because it's pretty difficult to predict at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very difficult to predict at the moment. We've had 4 different race winners in the first 4 races of the 2021 Global Series, and I'm sure it could well stay that way with the unpredictability as we go into race 5. And speaking of race 5, it's Phillip Island coming up for you next. But just before we get underway with the racing, we need to, of course, run through the session info. If you've been watching the Global Series already this year, I'm sure you know exactly how this works. But just in case this is your first one, hello and welcome first of all. But we'll run through everything for you. So coming up then, it is, of course, Phillip Island, the Australian Classic. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying, which we'll very, very shortly show you qualifying highlights from. But the race will, of course, be 10 laps, and all those important features there in the rulebook are on your screen right now. It is, of course, balanced performance on, so no actual gain or advantage in any sort of machinery from there. Tyre and fuel consumption is, of course, on proportionate, and those penalties are strict, and they do need to be careful of those penalties. So then, Phillip Island qualifying highlights coming up for you right now, and let's exactly see what happened in qualifying down in Australia.
It's tight at the top in the MotoGP eSport Championship, with only a 1/10 of a second separating the front row at Phillip Island ahead of race 5 of the 2021 Global Series. It's a blockbuster front row as well, with last year's world champion Adrian starting from the outside of that front row in 3rd. He'll be joined there by the factory Yamaha man of Trastevere. The Italian putting a strong marker down early in the session, taking provisional pole position, but he was eventually knocked off of top spot by his compatriot, Factory Ducati's Andrew ZH, the 2019 champion. Superlative around the iconic Australian circuit to take yet another pole position in fine style. In the end, fourth went the way of Suzuki's Williams Christian, with Riccardo Battara and Joel Clay taking the other spots on the second row of the grid.
So Phillip Island then for race 5 of the 2021 MotoGP eSport Global Series. 4.4 kilometres of absolutely gorgeous tarmac, with corners such as Dewins, Southern Loop, through to MG Siberia, Honda and all the rest. It's an absolute iconic venue of MotoGP action. And we're ready to introduce a little bit of MotoGP eSport thunder down under as we do go racing in Phillip Island. Watch out for turn 1, it's a brave place to pass, but you could well do it. Stoner Corner coming through to Honda is another key area, but also watch out for Lukey Heights as they get prepared to launch down the inside at MG.
Universally loved by everybody in the MotoGP paddock, and luckily the MotoGP eSport paddock as well. Phillip Island is next on the menu in the 2021 Global Series, and if you're craving a little bit of the islands like we all are after missing out in 2020 and 2021, then good news, because you're about to get your fix. Here we go, we're about to go racing at Phillip Island. Hello and welcome along to Phillip Island, one of the most iconic circuits in the world, and it's set up perfectly for a brilliant race 5 of the 2021 Global Series. 4 gamers separated by only 9 points, with our 3 previous world champions along the front row of the grid. Andrew ZH will start from pole ahead of Trastevere and last year's world champion Repsol Honda's Adrian.
Williams Christian lines up in 4th. He's 5th in the championship, so if he wants to make up some ground, he's got to get in front of those 3 in front of him on the front row of the grid. Riccardo Battara, another good qualifying from the Pramac Ducati man. And Joel Clay, another good one from him as well. 6th place on the Aprilia.
Front in the 3rd row of the grid, a bit of a surprise. The man only 4 points away from the top of the table in 3rd, Piero Ricciuti, ahead of Jack Hammer, the rookie aboard the KTM, and ahead of his home round, Mr. TFTW.
And rounding out the runners and riders then, it is Fuchs the Brazilian on the Petronas Yamaha, and Dark Bright in 11th place. We had connection issues in qualifying, but we're ready to go racing in Australia.
Here we go then. This is going to be a barnstormer, I can just feel it. The front 3 were split by only a 10th in qualifying, but it's a poor start from the poleman, Andrew ZH. He's not got the jump. It's surely going to be Trastevere to get the whole shot, but here comes the Ducati man. That's brave into the opening corner. Surely he'll run wide. He does, but he just about closes the door. He's got the inside line. Again, he's tight in there, and he's going to run wide. Here comes Trastevere fighting back. The Yamaha man goes down. Oh, I don't believe it. A huge momentum shift in the championship. The man that's currently top of it is out at only corner 3.
That is a disaster then for Trastevere, the man that really, really needed to be at the front of this race with the 2 other previous world champions in this sport right behind him. That is a complete disaster, and also a disaster for Williams Christian. We said on the start grid that he needed to get in front of those top 3, and it's gone completely the other way. Down in 11th off the start after collecting Trastevere's bike at the Southern Loop.
Well, it's been blown wide open in half a lap. Andrew ZH leading the way. And if things stayed as they are, he'll move himself right into championship contention. He won't take the lead. That'll be last year's world champion, Adrian. Oh, incredible drama, Trastevere. What happened there, Jack? It looked as though, what's the contact? I'm not sure if there was. It looks as though he might have just folded the front.
I think there may well have been contact, Jack. It's a classic case of lines just crisscrossing and meeting each other. The Southern Loop is one of those things where if you throw it in early on the apex, you have to go wide in the middle of the corner. Trastevere didn't do that. He went for the cutback, and it just seems as though it's 2 lines come together. Complete racing incident, but unfortunately for Trastevere, he has come off far worse than Andrew ZH. And now we see that Andrew ZH has got another problem in his rearview mirror, and that is the number 26 Repsol Honda of the reigning world champion, Adrian.
Well, I can't believe that. Trastevere, of course, a two-time world champion.
There you go.
How often does he make a mistake? Let's see, is the contact. Andrew ZH on the inside. Oh,
Yeah,
there was a nudge. And I tell you what, Adrian was so lucky to get away with that one. It's a racing incident. They're both looking for the same bit of tarmac. Down goes Trastevere on. Williams. Christian was so unlucky as well. He was the one that collected the bike. But Adrian will be thanking his lucky stars. I've no idea how he got away with that.
No, not a clue at all. I think he got hit from front, back and the side in that whole fiasco there. So is he going to look at the inside down into MG? No, he's not. He's just going to sit there and wait it out and see what happens with Andrew ZH, whether these two can pull away from the remaining pack. They are doing that a little bit at the moment. They got 1 second over Riccardo Bottaro and Jackhammer in third and fourth. Great start for those two, incidentally. That's another great start for them in the Global Series. But these two then are just going to try and scamper away. I imagine that Adrian won't be too keen at the moment to break up the rhythm that Andrew ZH has got set into. But here he comes with power of the Honda. No, thinks better of it going into doing.
That was a big look up the inside, and it looks as though these two are going to fight for victory. They've got the pace to pull clear, as you said, already a second adrift of Riccardo Bottaro. But that is some fight for third place. Just look at that. Bottaro, Jackhammer, Ricciuti and Joel Clay are split by nothing. You could throw a blanket over those four. That's going to go right down to the wire, the fight for the final podium place. But, of course, we'll be focusing our attention on this scrap. Two of the heavyweights of MotoGP eSport. One, the champion in 2019, Andrew ZH. One, our 2020 most recent champion in Adrian. These two know how to win. These two know how to get the gloves off. And it's a little bit early in the day for that, as Ricciuti has a big look up the inside through the hay shed.
Oh, wow, he bumped him onto the grass.
It was a little bit naughty that, but he gets it done. Jackhammer somehow recovers as they go over the top of Lukey Heights. Ricciuti will once again be looking through. We don't call him the wild child for nothing.
Yeah, no, we certainly don't. Just as you were saying about knowing how to win as well, he recently knows how to win, and that's the exact way he does it, doesn't it? He gets his elbows out and he moves you aside if you are not getting out of the way for him. So Ricciuti then up into fourth. Great start from him as he was down the grid a little bit in seventh. So we cut back to the two main men. Seems as though Andrew ZH is just able to get out of that final corner well enough to hold off from the slipstream of the Honda coming down into doings. It's a brave move anyway, but I do think that Adrian at one point might just eye it up, or as though we might have a little role rehearsal here. Same as Trastevere when he tried to go up the inside of Andrew ZH, but Andrew ZH just squeezes him enough to warn him off from the move for now.
Incidentally, the fastest man on track is this man, a fired up Trastevere. You can be absolutely guaranteed that he is seeing red after crashing out on the opening lap. Who's he got ahead of him? Mr. TFTW. He's only about half a second away from him. Surely he's going to catch it. Well, look at the gap you can see there on the timing screen is coming down at some rate. It was at 0.8 of a second as he came across the line. It's now half a second. He's closing him in, so he's trying to salvage as many points as he possibly can do after that disastrous opening lap. The same can be said about this man as well. A poor qualifying for Piero Ricciuti. Remember, he's third in the championship, only 4 points away from Trastevere at the top at the start of this one. So if things stay as they are, Piero Ricciuti will be leapfrogging Trastevere as well. But here are our two leaders. There we go, Andrew ZH and Adrian. The concentration on the pair of them is unwavering. Look at the stairs. Look at the concentration as Adrian around the outside gets the run on Andrew ZH, and for the first time we have a change of the lead. The Repsol Honda man hits the front. Yeah,
we certainly do. Now it'll be interesting to see what Andrew ZH can do. Whether he just hangs in there, if Adrian's got the pace maybe to pull away or pull them even further away from that battle for third and fourth between Riccardo Bottaro and Piero Ricciuti. Of course, Piero will want to be getting into that third, and that'd be good damage limitation for him, as we do say. Started way down the order, and it's incredibly hard to make up positions in the eSport Global Series. But for now, it seems as though Andrew ZH is just happy enough to get the hooks into the back of Adrian and just hang on there. So certainly 5 laps to go. We're already halfway through this race, and it seems that we're going to go the long way, all the way into lap 10, I imagine.
There's going to be a move coming here from Piero Ricciuti. Has to be, surely. He's all over the rear wheel of his compatriot Riccardo Bottaro, the Pramac Racing man, defending admirably at the moment. But Ricciuti, being Ricciuti, and from what we've seen so far this year, even if there isn't a gap, he'll find one.
Yeah, he certainly will. He'll probably get the elbows out and just barge his way through. But Bataro will be wanting to get another podium on the board in 2021. Obviously got one last time out, race 3 of the Global Series at the Saxon Ring in the wet conditions, and now he's proving that he can do it in the dry as well. But all of a sudden, look at that. Jack Hammer has just clawed these two guys in. He's got the slipstream on the factory KTM. Is he going to go 3 abreast down into Doohan's? That would be incredibly brave if he can. No, they just file in line, and Jack Hammer unfortunately gets pushed out wide a little bit. But it does seem as though Jack Hammer's got maybe just a tenth or two that he needs to get past these two.
And again, there goes Piero Ricciuti, and that's exactly what we were saying. Not much of a gap there, not that it matters. Ricciuti finds his way through on Bataro, nudges him out of the way, but the number 64 will be looking to respond. He dives to the inside. Oh, no way through there. I thought there was going to be contact between the pair, and there is there at last. Bataro responds, but Ricciuti will have the inside line. Bataro trying to hang it out around the outside. One of these two will surely have to give way soon. They're still side by side as we head towards the hay shed, and suddenly it's Ricciuti that just about comes out on top, but not for long. There goes Bataro. What a fight between these two.
Well, he should deliver Piero Ricciuti some of his own medicine as we watch down now into MG. Watch out for them coming down into the inside. No, not this time around. All file and line astern. Oh, there is contact in the end. Runs it in coming through the second part of the apex. Incredible stuff for the battle for third. But what that has done, the gap for Trastevere up to that group of 4 from third all the way down to 6th is now under 2.5 seconds. The start of the lap, it was 3.5. So that battling has cost them big time. They cannot afford to do that and let Trastevere come all the way back onto that lead pack again.
Well, what a fight that is. And it's not over yet because Bataro responds. Ricciuti again trying all he can to hang on around the outside, but no way through there. Bataro just rolls it across his front wheel, slams that opportunity shut.
Look at the left side of that rear tyre, Jack. That is absolutely gone. So there's no grip left on that left rear Michelin for, who was that we were on board with? Was
Andrew
that Andrew ZH?
Yeah.
So Andrew ZH then, certainly he's going to have to be feathering the throttle.
Again, there goes Ricciuti.
There's contact between all 4 of them coming down now. Pushes him wide on the exit of MG. Down into Siberia. Does he bite back? No, not this time. He's not quite close enough. Although he's trying to turn it tight. But Bataro gets it hooked up, fires the Ducati out on towards the hay shed once more.
What a battle this is. Absolutely incredible stuff. No quarter given from either. And Jack Hammer at the moment has got the best seats in the house. He'll be thinking, crack on, lads. If you carry on like this, one of them, or probably both of them, are going to end up in the gravel trap, and I'll just pick up the pieces. But so far, I was going to say they've kept it clean. It's not really been that clean at all because they've been bumping and barging each other out the way at every opportunity. But somehow they've managed to keep it upright at the moment. This is going to continue all the way to the checkered flag, as is this fight as well. A response coming here from Andrew ZH. He retakes control, fires his way through into the opening corner. And Andrew ZH back at the front with only 3 laps now remaining.
Yeah, 3 laps to go, and he's made the move. He's bit the bullet. And there's another move coming in from Piero Ricciuti. How close do you like it? Look at that between the LCR Honda and the Pramac Ducati. Barges him out wide, and that allows Jack Hammer through now. Is Joel Clay also going to nip up the inside? Don't think so. But Jack Hammer might well be lining up a move down into Honda here. No, just gets on the curb and runs it a little bit wide. I'll tell you what, though, Jack. Joel Clay will also be pretty intrigued about this.
There goes Jack Hammer.
Oh, he's under him.
Ricardo Bataro made a mistake there into the Honda hairpin, ran in a little bit too hot, and Jack Hammer's dived through.
That's the biggest gap we've seen in quite some time. I say biggest gap, it's only a 10.5, but these two have been nailed together. Look at that, it's like Marc Marquez on the front into the corner there, closing the meters on the Ducati. But it seems as though for now he's just going to have to stay far of the line and keep behind him as we come down into the final 2 laps.
Well, it looks as though Jack Hammer has had to give way because Ricardo Bataro is now back in front of him on our timing screens to the left, and I'm not sure it will stay as that for much longer. As we can see the tyre wear again on both of those guys, you can understand why the left hand side of the tyre is absolutely shot with only 2 laps remaining. Adrian looking for a way through. Andrew ZH doesn't want to give way. He's going to have the inside line here as he then flick it left. And this is a carbon copy of what we saw with Trastevere on the opening lap. He'll cut back. Need to watch out. Oh, I thought there was going to be contact, and we're going to have the same result of what we had on that opening lap. But the pair of them managed to keep it clean for the time being. Through Stoner, hard onto the brakes towards the Honda hairpin. Andrew ZH looking to go defensive there, holds the line, no way through as Adrian tries to get him on the cutback, but again Andrew ZH defending brilliantly at the moment.
A lap and a half to go then, we round Siberian. There's no sign of any cracking under the pressure yet for the factory Ducati man. Andrew ZH, the 2019 world champion, he's used to this scenario. He knows what it feels like to be pressured and hounded coming down into the final lap. And he's in his element at the moment, holding off the reigning world champion.
Swarming all over the rear is Adrian, to the left, to the right, but at the moment he can't find any way through. There's only going to be one lap remaining of this classic Phillip Island race in the 2021 Global Series. We've had battles all the way through the field, early drama as well. What else could you want from a MotoGP eSport race? It's had it all, and we've still got one lap to go between these two. Andrew ZH leads the way, but here comes Adrian. He's going to find a way through into the opening corner, and there we go. That's the first move of this final lap, but you can be guaranteed there's more to come.
He's made his move immediately then. Now, Andrew ZH, he's got to get the Ducati wound up coming out of here. Smooth on the throttle, but also aggressive. Get it fired out, coming through Casey Stoner corner. Let the rear end slide, but keep it driving. Surely he'll look to the inside coming down into Honda. We're going to get to it right now. He's going to go wide, look to the inside. No, Adrian covers it brilliantly. That is one place gone, or is it?
Contact between the pair, and somehow they both stay on. I've no idea how, because Andrew ZH gave Adrian a almighty whack there through Honda hairpin, but somehow they're both upright, and somehow we've still got half a lap to go, and this one isn't decided yet.
There's only one real opportunity now, and this is it coming up. Lukey Heights is the one place he's got to set it up, and it's going to be another lunge down into another hairpin. Is he close enough? I don't think he is, but he's going to go for it anyway. Oh, not quite. Adrian incredibly late on the brakes. That could be it. I'm not too sure if Andrew ZH will be able to get the slipstream before the line.
That's his only option now. He has to wind it up brilliantly through the final corner and just hope he can drag his way past Adrian. Adrian goes a little bit wide there. There's contact between the pair again. Adrian to the left, Andrew ZH to the right. Who's going to take it? Here comes the Ducati man. Is he going to get there in time? He's not. The victory goes the way of Adrian. What a finish that was. And Piero Ricciuti just holds off Riccardo Battaro for third as well. What a race that was.
Oh, incredible race. He saw that Andrew ZH had the run coming out the line, but it wasn't enough in the end by 1,000th of a second. Incredible scene. So Adrian takes victory in race 5 of the Global Series.
Well, we did tell you at the start of the show to expect the unexpected in MotoGP eSport, and that's exactly what's happened. What a race, what a finish. A fingernail separating Adrian and Andrew as they came across the line. It doesn't get any better than that, Jack, does it? Absolutely fantastic. Right, we'll bring you through the championship and how that race has affected it, which it has done in a moment. Before that, though, let's speak to our top 3, our podium men, starting with a man that took third place. We're concentrating on the battle for the lead, of course, but there was one hell of a fight going on behind for the final podium place, in the end going to Piero Ricciuti. Congratulations, Piero, very, very well done, and that is an important podium in terms of the championship. Talk us through the race.
Yes, thank you. After a disaster in qualifying, I make a very good start, but I was involved in the crash on turn 2. I didn't crash, I think, by a miracle, but I lose some position, and I was on, I think, P7, P8. But the feeling on the first laps of the race was not bad, and I felt fast, and I made some beautiful overtake to Joel Clay and Jack Hammer. Then I was able to recover the gap to Ricky for the podium, and I do an incredible bagarre with Ricky, very good overtakes, and I am happy for this podium, but the feeling with the bike was not very good, because I was in difficult in braking and acceleration, but now I'm trying to improve for the next race in Misano. Okay.
Yeah, as you should be as well. You should be happy. Third place, you can't knock a podium finish. And the good news is as well, as you say, you get another go at it on home soil at Misano.
Yeah, well, from some beautiful overtakes there from Piero Chuti to some more beautiful overtakes out the front. And what a battle it was between our reigning world champion and his predecessor, Andrew ZH. Andrea, you led most of the race, but unfortunately in the end it just came down to, well, virtually nothing. Talk us through that insane finish and the great battle that you had out front with Adrian.
Yeah, hi guys, hi everyone. First of all, I really want to apologize with Lorenzo Trastevere because in the first lap of Inter 2, I made a mistake in judgment, and by not be able to pick up the bike immediately, and then there was a contact, so it was my fault, and so I really want to apologize with him. And instead, talking about my result, I made an incredible lap on qualifying, and I take a good pole position. I started well, and I think that me and Adrian, we have done a really great show, because we've done an amazing battle with a lot of overtakes. So it was also incredible the finish without the distance between us. And so really congrats to him, because he deserved this victory, and we have done a great battle. And I want to thanks to all the people that support me, my team, my eSport agency. So I try again now in Misano, and we hope to do the same result or better. So thanks to all.
Well, congratulations, Andrea. And great sportsmanship there to admit to the mistake with Trastevere at the start. So superb stuff to see.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's speak to our race winner then, the world champion, Adrian. What a win that is. Surely that is the best victory of your eSport career. If not, it's got to be up there.
Thank you. I think yes. After a good qualifying, I started well, and in the first lap I almost crashed with Trastevere's bike, but fortunately I could keep Andrew, and I think we did the most beautiful MotoGP Sport race ever, and fortunately I could beat him, and now I am looking forward to Misano.
No, congratulations. A brilliant race, and you've got to agree with him. That's one of the best we have ever seen. Fantastic race between the pair of them. And the good news is we get to go again at Misano in just a few moments' time. Before that, then, let's just remind you of how the championship looks as a result of race 5 in the 2021 Global Series, with Adrian now 9 points clear at the top of the standings, but he's still got pressure behind him, with 4 riders now split by 12 points at the top instead of 9. So it's still all to play for, with another race coming up at Misano in a few moments' time. Before that, though, who knows Misano better than a VR46 Academy member? Younger brother of Valentino Rossi, Luca Marini. He must have lapped around Misano 1,000 times. So, because he knows it so well, we sent Amy Reynolds to try put him under a little bit of pressure, see if we can distract him and he can make some mistakes around the Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli.
So, your first question. Imagine you are riding Silverstone in Great Britain, but in an anti-clockwise direction. You've just completed Stowe, a left-hander, and you're accelerating along the Hanger Straight. Which turn would be next? Chapel, Beckett's, or Copse?
Beckett's.
Oh, that's so close. Chapel. Okay, next question. What are the names of the English MotoGP commentators? Matt and Steve, John and Paul, Harry and Ronald.
One is Matt, so the other could be Steve.
Yes.
Steve.
I wrote down
Okay.
Steve. Repeat this popular English tongue twister correctly for me.
Impossible.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sells seashells from the seashores.
Yes! And
More
you
or
kept
less.
it together on track. Not bad at all. Okay, last one. Imagine you have 65 copies of the MotoGP eSports game. To each MotoGP rider, you give 1 copy, plus a second copy for each of the Italians. How many copies of MotoGP eSports would you have left?
No, can you repeat the question? It's impossible to follow.
So you've got 65 copies of the MotoGP eSports game. You give each MotoGP rider 1 copy, plus a second copy for each of the Italian.
How many MotoGP riders we are? 22?
22?
22? I think.
Then you give
For all the riders,
each of the
1 copy.
Italians, for all
For
of
the
riders-
Italians, 1 copy more.
Yes. So how many Italians
How many
are there?
Italians we are?
7. 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how many do you have left?
So we have
65 minus 22 minus 7 equals
33 minus 7, 26.
36. I'll give you that one.
36.
Yes.
I'm
They're
perfect
quite,
part.
to be honest with you, Luca, I struggle with these.
Okay.
So, to your credit, and I wasn't playing the MotoGP video game at the same time, so you didn't do too badly at all.
No, it was a disaster. But no problem.
You did better at the game though, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Luca, the good news is that you were by far the best rider we've had at playing the MotoGP video game. Perhaps not the best we've had at answering the trivia questions, but it was a great effort. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, a lot.
Good stuff.
I'm happy to be the best with the video game.
Let's hand it over now to our Global Series riders.
Thank you very much to Amy Reynolds there, and of course Luca Marini, who I think we both feel a little bit of sympathy for there. Not only did he have to redo his maths GCSE at the end, he also had to do a tongue twister in a language that isn't native to him. It's something that even we'd struggle with. So, Ghost, repeat after me. She sells seashells on the seashore.
That's not going to happen because I know that I'll mess it up. I think if you gave it another go, you'd probably royally screw it up as well.
Okay, second time around. She sells seashells on the seashore.
Hey, not
close,
bad,
close,
not bad.
close.
Yeah, I'll give you it.
Kind of went a little bit awry at the end. But anyway, enough of our nonsense. Race 6 of the Global Series is coming up very shortly.
Yeah, it certainly is. We're going to the Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, and what a beautiful circuit it is. Of course, you can see it on the screens behind me. Lovely shots there indeed. Misano then, it's tight and twisty and the odd fast corner thrown in between. But just before we jump into the qualifying highlights, this is the session info. Now, we've already shown you this once this evening, but just to go over it again, we'll show you again why not. And of course, the key things are balanced performance is on and those tyre and fuel consumptions are on proportionate. So then, Misano qualifying took place a little bit earlier on, so let's jump right into it and see who got pole and exactly how they did it.
It was blink and you'll miss it stuff in qualifying at Misano, with the top 4 separated by just 33 1,000ths of a second. The unlucky man to miss out on a front row spot was once again Williams Christian, the Suzuki man having to settle for 4th. On the outside of the front row was the man that took pole at Phillip Island earlier today. Andrew ZH starts 3rd, with Trastevere once again lining up in the middle of that front row in 2nd. But pole position goes the way of the world champion, Repsol Honda's Adrian. He left it late with his final lap of the session, having been sat in 4th for the majority of it, managed to pip Trastevere to top spot and take pole position for the final race of this evening's action. The second row then is Williams Christian with Riccardo Battara and Piero Ricciuti joining him ahead of Joel Clay, Jack Hammer, Darkbright, then Mr TFTW and Fuchs on the final row of the grid for the race in Misano.
Race 6 of the 2021 Global Series, and we're heading to the Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli, 4.2 kilometres with 10 right turns and 6 left. It's a place that has a flavour for everything. Fast and flowing, stop and start. It's certainly one place that's going to test every single skill in the MotoGP eSport Global Series Stars arsenal. Watch out for the track limits. It's a place that's very, very tight in some certain spots as well. Sector 1 is incredibly tight if they go out into turn 4 there, as you can see. But watch them open it up, coming down the back straight. Cavone and all the way through to the end of the lap. There's going to be a few dive bombs, you can guarantee.
It's time for our gamers then to make their final play in the championship picture before double points are added into the mix at our final round in a few months' time. It's race 6 of the 2021 Global Series, and it comes to you from the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli. Just to add a little bit of spice into the mix as well, our 3 previous world champions are all there on the front row of the grid. Let's see how they get on for one final time today then and go racing at Misano. Race 6 of the 2021 Global Series is up next from the Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli. And I tell you what, Jack, if it's anything like what we've seen earlier on in today's round, we're in for a treat. Phillip Island delivered, let's hope Misano can too, with the current world champion and now championship leader Adrian on top spot in pole position, ahead of Trastevere and Andrew ZH.
And it's the same as last time as well, with Williams Christian in 4th. Ricardo Bottaro lined up in 5th, but a better call in this time for the man in 6th place, Piero Ricciuti, jumping up 1 spot from where he qualified in Phillip Island.
The third row of the grid, fronted by Aprilia's Joel Clay, ahead of KTM's Jack Hammer and fellow KTM rider on the Tectois, the satellite man, Dark Bright.
And completing the riders and runners, it is Mr. TFTW, the Australian, on the Avintia Racing Ducati, and Fuchs on the Petronas Yamaha.
So the top 4 in qualifying split by only 33 thousandths of a second. That's how tight it is. Absolutely nothing to separate the top 4 as we get underway here in Misano. Adrian from pole position once again doesn't make a great start. It's Trastevere who from 2nd place for the 2nd time today fires through to take the whole shot. The whole field go right, then left, then right once more. It's still Trastevere leading the way with Adrian already swarming over his rear wheel. Can he find a way through? No, he can't as we go right into the first sector. Again, Trastevere a little bit wide, but he's just about held it on as we go down the back straight for the first time.
There was definitely contact in the background between, I think it was Jack Hammer and Dark Bright, but nonetheless, up front, these two made a cracking start. Already pulled out almost half a second over the top 2. But Andrew ZH then closing in incredibly late on the brakes, but he's gone wide there into Quercia. Is Williams Christian going to be able to capitalise coming down now into Tremonto? I don't think he will be able to. But as we round out the first half of the lap, it is the top 4 as predicted. He is underneath him, so he can capitalise. He's going to push him wide, run him all the way out to the curb. So Williams Christian up into 3rd.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake from Andrew ZH there, running wide. Allowed Williams Christian through. He's not going to say no to an invitation like that as we head towards. This is going to be a real hot spot for overtaking, you would imagine, as Christian looks up the inside, but no way through. We're through Del Carro, Curva Del Carro, for the first time, but it stays as is. Trastevere, Adrian, Christian and Andrew ZH, those top 4 men in qualifying, leading the way with the first lap completed.
So across
Andrew ZH wide through the final corner. Piero Ricciuti has pounced. Sorry, Jack.
No worries. So Piero Ricciuti pounces then. So that's knocked Andrew ZH all the way down to 5th. That's unusual for him. He's usually a very, very good starter indeed. But Piero Ricciuti, here we go. This is going to be a replay then. This is Williams Christian getting up the inside of Andrew ZH. Once again, Andrew ZH went deep into the braking zone, so he just needs to rein it in a little bit, and this is the 3rd time on the first lap. So he didn't actually go deep into the braking zone, he just nailed the rear end of Williams Christian. So unfortunately then, 3 costly errors on the very first lap for Andrew ZH, sees him down in 5th.
Yeah, that's going to be a frustrating opening lap for Andrew ZH.
Ooh, he's got on the inside.
Oh, he has. Well spotted, Jack, in the back of our picture. The Ducati man gains a place, up to 4th now ahead of Piero Ricciuti. He needs to be careful though that these top 3 don't pull clear as Ricciuti slams the door shut on Ricardo Bottaro. Adrian looking for a way through as we head towards Cavone, but Trastevere has just got the legs on him as he go right.
Tell you what, how many times did Piero Ricciuti and Ricardo Bottaro find themselves together on track? Speaking of together, that's very together between Ricciuti and Andrew ZH. Oh, he's gone wide again. So he's struggling to get that Ducati stopped, it seems, by it. Because that is how many times now? 5 times he's gone deep into the braking zone. Ricciuti will look at the inside. No, decides to just play the safe game coming through Misano corner. So, already 2 laps down, and it seems as though those top 3 have just scampered away, as we may well have predicted in qualifying earlier on.
Yeah, Andrew ZH, again, he's wide. Oh, he's just all over the place at the moment. It's the Ducati man. He just can't find his markers. Normally, pinpoint precision from Andrew ZH, but he cannot find his markers at all at the moment. Running wide, giving opportunities to Piero Ricciuti. And if he continues to do that, well, it won't take long for Ricciuti to dive through. Meanwhile, Christian, just in the back of the shot there, did make a bit of a mistake, I think, the Suzuki man. He was right on the tail of his brother Adrian ahead, but he just ran a little bit wide there and has allowed Adrian to have a little bit of breathing room. Yeah, slight mistake, as you say, from Williams Christian, but also a little bit of a flirt with track limits there from Adrian, so he does need to be careful, as we do say. He's got one... Where's he going there? Where's he going there? He's going to bring it back and just about hold on, but that's a mistake from Adrian. Yeah, costly mistake that as well, because we know how difficult it is to make up time in MotoGP eSport Global Series, and half a second for Trastevere, well, that's pretty much comfortable in eSport terms, so he needs to be careful. These two then, they've broken away from Riccardo Pitaro. Wonder if there was a slight mistake or just... That's incredibly close. Surely he's not going to go around the outside. Didn't think so. Some move. I didn't know if he was just trying to make it sure he was at least level, rolling around the outside to have the inside line as they then went left. That would have been an audacious move. He's not pulled it off, but of course, of all the people in the MotoGP eSport grid, it's the wild child that even thinks of doing that. Big mistake from Christian. Yeah, that's a big mistake. He's lost touch with the leaders with that one. That could be at least half a second, 6/10 now that he's off the back of his brother. Yeah, I was just going to ask the question as well, Jack. I wondered if there was going to be any sort of brotherly orders between Williams, Christian and Adrian. Of course, Adrian fighting for this World Championship. Christian, he is still, but he's a little bit further out of it than Adrian is. I just wondered if he was maybe going to play shotgun to him, just be a bit of a buffer in case anyone comes up behind. Well, we did see it last year, of course, didn't we, in 2020? I think it was at Silverstone, wasn't it? When, I believe so, yeah. In the final round of the year, both Williams, Christian and Adrian had crashed out. And Christian did give way to his brother to hand him some vital points. In the end, they weren't necessary because he went out and wrapped it up at Valencia. But yeah, we have seen them work in tandem before, so I don't think at this stage in the championship we'd see that, but potentially when we get to the final round with double points on offer, where one place can be absolutely pivotal, we could well see that. And that is, you know, a bit of an advantage for Adrian, because obviously with all 11 teams represented here, teammates don't exist. So you can have a little bit of a friend out there or a colleague, maybe to help out if need be in the dying moments of the championship, then that can come in useful. Yeah, union across the manufacturers then. So two brothers in arms going at it, and I'm sure we'll see them go at it in the final round in just over a month's time or so as well. And of course, with a BMW car being the grand prize as well, Christian will be quite happy for Adrian to win it, because it means he's got a new taxi service. Yeah, not bad at all. They just have to get a little bell, and whenever he needs a lift, he can ring the bell. Perfect. Nice little ride in a BMW. So looking at these two guys then, as always in MotoGP eSport, absolute 100% pure concentration. These guys are the best. Ooh, bit of a mistake from Trastevere. It was quite wide through there. I mean, there's so many different lines through Quercia, isn't there? Yeah, there's plenty of lines through Quercia. I mean, as you saw there, a couple where they go in a little bit hard on the front end and just try and open the corner up and carry the corner speed out, or get nice and early on the brakes, get it turned, and then try and stand it up on the fat part of the tyre and fire it out. But it certainly seems as though whatever lines they're doing, it's pretty evenly matched at the moment. Although I've got to say, Adrian was mightily quick there through the series of right-handers from Cavone onwards down to Caro, and it does actually pop up. Adrian had the fastest lap last time around as well, 1:28.5. That's blistering pace. But even though it's the fastest lap, it's not quite enough to close in to be able to get within striking distance. Trastevere, look at that, the tyres holding up quite well as we've got 5 laps to go, but certainly on that last lap it's going to be right down to the limit of the wear. So Trastevere still leading the way, half a second clear of Adrian, the Repsol Honda man just over half a second clear of his brother, with at half race distance, 5 laps of the 10 now completed on to lap 6. And at the moment, it's a bit of a high-speed game of chess. Trastevere holding his nerve, But all it takes is one error and suddenly Adrian will be right onto the rear wheel and we'll be asking some serious questions of the factory Yamaha man. But so far so good for Trastevere on home soil. Here's that mistake from Christian we saw. Again, just on the curbs, taking a little bit too much. This is a better angle of it. He actually went onto the green, and that's what forced him back onto the curb, and it just unsettled the bike, forced him wide. And a little bit further adrift now of Adrian as he was previous. Yeah, and just looking at those track limits warnings, you can see there on the left-hand side of your screen on the tower, on the timing tower, next to the names, those three little dashes or 4 or 1 or however many they've got. Williams Christian has 3, so 2 more, and he will be encountering a penalty from our steward. So he does need to be careful, can't be affording to do that too many more times as we come down into the closing laps. 4 to go as they come across the line this time. Let's just have a look at those guys further down the field. Andrew ZH has got rid of the attention of Piero Ricciuti, it seems. Now 3/4 of a second separating those two. So despite some early pressure, you can see in the back of the picture there, Andrew ZH looks like at the moment, if he can go mistake-free, will be able to take 4th. Ricciuti 5th. Riccardo Battaro 6th. He's under a little bit of pressure from KTM's Jackhammer. It's only 3/10 off the back of the Pramac Ducati. Further back, Joel Clay 8th, Fuchs 9th, Dark Bright 10th, and Mr. TFTW 11th. Yeah, and you've got to say, Jack, that Andrew ZH will be spitting feathers with himself after this performance because, well, he's closed in the gap to Williams Christian over the last 2 or 3 laps. He's obviously got the pace to run with the top guys, but those early mistakes, catch-ups and a little bit of chaos with everyone else has cost him a chance of victory. Yeah, and he's got no one to blame but himself as well. That opening lap, what was it, 4 or 5 errors in the end over the opening couple of laps. You know, that's the brutal world of MotoGP eSport. There is absolutely no room for error because these guys are so precise, so accurate, that if you make one mistake and give a guy in front or a guy behind one tiny advantage, they will climb all over it and punish you for it. And that's what's happened. Andrew ZH down in 4th spot off the podium, missing out on 12 points to Trastevere, and obviously 7 points to Adrian, a further 3 to Christian. Those points could be vital with the championship as tight as it is. Yeah, they really could. And just looking at the gaps now, and visually as well as on the timing tower on your left, you can see that this is the biggest gap that Trastevere has had all race long. So it seems as though relentless pace out the front, run those 28.5s has done the business for Trastevere. And it certainly seems that with, well, what's that, 2.5 laps to go now, he's looking, I wouldn't say comfortable, but he's looking in control. No, he is, and he's been in this position for a number of occasions in the past. A multiple race winner, obviously 2 championships to his name. He won't be feeling the pressure with 2.5 laps remaining. He's been here, he's done it before, he'll be going through the motions, and from this point, with 0.6 of a second advantage, that is absolute gold dust to him. Yeah, that is exactly what he'll want, and he'll be able to bring it home from here, you would imagine. But we've seen stranger things before. Yeah, and I mean, you say it's exactly what he would have wanted, and it's exactly what he needed as well. That 7th place in the earlier race in Phillip Island, he needed to rebound in this race if he wanted any chance of hanging with them as we head into the final round of the Global Series after this one. So certainly this is the performance he needed to produce, and just like champions do, he's doing it when he's being asked of it. Ooh, there goes Jackhammer. He doesn't get the job done. Riccardo Battaro just holding off. But that was some move from Jackhammer. You're a brave man to try and get a job done into the final corner here at Misano. But with now 2 laps remaining, I think it's just a matter of time before Jackhammer gets in front of Riccardo Battaro. He's asking a lot of questions of the Italian. Yeah, he certainly is. Riccardo Battaro just not quite at the pace of the guys in front of him. It's a shame that he wasn't able to clock. Oh, long lap penalty for Piero Ricciuti. Ooh, now that is a bit spicy. What is he in front of Riccardo? He's 1.8 in front. Now, generally we see that a long lap penalty costs about 2 or 3 seconds. So it'd be interesting to see how quickly he can navigate through this. He may well come out right in the middle of this battle between Riccardo Battaro and Jackhammer. So Piero Ricciuti, a long lap penalty. Well, the wild child has been punished for it. Where is he? Is he going into it now? No, he's not going into it now, but that is the long lap penalty loop that you could see on your screen there from the aerial shot. So, late drama for the Italian. and he's only got one lap to take it now. He's going to have to take it on the final lap. If he doesn't, he'll be handed a time penalty from race direction. And I tell you who else needs to be careful. You can see the warnings down the left-hand side of your screen. Williams Christian in third at the moment has made 4 track limit offences. One more and he'll also be handed a long lap penalty. So the Suzuki man needs to be as accurate as he possibly can be on this final lap, because one small error, one move onto the green, and that will see him through the long lap penalty loop on this final lap.
Yeah, and that is not what he needs if he wants any chance at fighting for this 2021 eSport crown, because he is the man that is furthest back out of these top guys. So certainly Christian, that would be disaster if he does encounter a long lap penalty with, what, just about 10 corners to go.
Here comes Adrian then through the first sector. Still half a second adrift for Trastevere. It's a good final lap this from the Italian so far. He's just hitting his points, precise as ever, under no real threat it seems, as we head up towards Tremonte then.
So, what, Jack, look at that gap from Piero Ricciuti to Riccardo Bottaro. Surely he's going to dive into it now. Yes, he does. We're on board with him. Don't go onto the green. Oh, he has gone onto the green, but I think he's got away with it. Where's he going to come out? Is he going to be ahead of Riccardo Bottaro? He is, but now Bottaro is incredibly close. He's going to get into the slipstream, going to fire it down through Cavone, all the way through these series of rights. Watch out for Caro. That's where he's going to have to make the move.
Wow, he did really well there, did Piero Ricciuti. I don't know, just flicked the green, did he? But I think he may well get away with it, although that long lap penalty signal is still there next to his name. I think he could have a time penalty coming here for hitting the green, because of course, being on the last lap, there's no other time for him to take it. Meanwhile, at the front, home is where the heart is for Trastevere. The Italian takes victory for the first time since Mugello earlier this year. Back-to-back wins on home soil for the Italian, and that is exactly the response that was needed after disappointment at Phillip Island earlier tonight. Here's this replay of Piero Ricciuti. Then, yeah, he's on the green. There is confirmation of it. So there will be a time penalty handed to the LCR Honda man, and he is a championship contender, let's not forget. So that is absolutely disastrous for the LCR man, because look at that, both Bottaro and Jack Hammer are only a fraction behind, which drops him all the way down to 7. Victory, though, going the way of Trastevere, ahead of Adrian and Williams Christian. Andrew ZH taking 4th, with Riccardo Bottaro rounding out the top 5. Let's head back to the studio and catch up with our podium finishers after that exciting race in Misano.
Well, the mark of a champion is fighting back when your back's against the wall, and Lorenzo Duretti, Trastevere, our 2-time champion, has done exactly that. After a disastrous Phillip Island race, he has bounced back in style, taking victory, his 2nd of the season, and dragging himself back into title contention once again. We'll be catching up with the Italian very shortly. Before that, though, we can speak to Christian, Suzuki's very own factory rider. A podium finish, a 2nd in 3 races. Christian, congratulations. A difficult race, I'm sure, for you. Just talk us through how you felt it went.
Yeah, thank you. I am happy for this result, because after bad luck in Phillip Island, I needed a good result. But I think that maybe it could be better, because yesterday I have to change my setup, because the old setup doesn't work. So I have to do the race with a new setup. I don't know how it's feeling, but fortunately for me, the bike works really good. But in the last, I think 4, I made a mistake in the turn number 1, I think. And then it's okay, podium. So also congratulations to Trastevere and Adrian, that was really fast, and I will try to win some races in the last races.
Yeah, just 2 races to go now. I'm sure you can get yourself onto the top of the podium there. Of course, you've won races in 2020 and 2019 as well, so you know how to do it. Clearly benefiting from that trip to the Williams F1 factory on the Thursday before the British Grand Prix. Not bad. He was there with Suzuki men Joan Mir and Alex Rins. Clearly, they've given him some tips.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Or maybe it was the other way around, him giving them tips for the MotoGP eSport game. Interesting there as well. Christian just saying about bad luck and bouncing back, and that's exactly what Adrian has done. After a difficult second round of the Global Series, come back tonight and he's got first and second on the night. Adrian, you must be very, very pleased with yourself, and it's also set you up very nicely indeed as we head for the finale not too long in the distant future.
Yes, thank you. As you say, in the second round, after 2 bad races, fortunately in this round I could do 2 good races. In this race in Misano, Trastevere started better than me. I tried to follow him until the final, but it was not possible. Today was better, and so congratulations for him. But I am really happy with this podium because now I am on top on the championship, and I will try to fight until the final. In the last race, will be a double point, so will be very difficult. And I want to say thanks to Honda team and Omi for all the support, and see you in the next round.
Yeah, we'll certainly see you there. And it's interesting, it does put him back on top, but quickly we'll just speak to Trastevere before we look at those championship standings.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to speak to Lorenzo here because you have had the biggest roller coaster of a MotoGP eSport round you could possibly have, crashing out on our opening race, then bouncing back with victory here. Of course, tell us about that win in Misano, but also how you had to overcome the disappointment of the Phillip Island race. It's been some day for you.
Yes, thanks guys. Thanks also to Adrian and Manzu. Yes, I'm sad. I'm happy, but also sad because it was not the result that I expected in Phillip Island. I was very fast there for fight for the podium, so could be very important points there, but it's okay. And in Misano, I'm very happy because this is the second also home Grand Prix that I won, in Mugello and Misano, so I'm very happy and proud. Maybe it's something that now Marco Simoncelli give me this victory, so thanks. And thanks to all the people that now are supporting me, and all the sponsor Yamaha. And yes, we are there. This year we are fast, very fast. So now keep focus for the last two rounds, with also the double points. So will be hard, difficult, but we can do it.
Yeah, well, congratulations. You certainly can do it. Still in the fight to be crowned champion for a 3rd time. And I think, Jack, he's secretly hoping that races 7 and 8 of the championship come from Monza and Imola, the way he's been going on home soil so far this year. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, but a man can dream. Right, let's run you through those championship standings then, the all-important championship standings. As the guys have said, only 2 races remain now, but 100 points are up for grabs, and sitting pretty at the top of the table, heading into our final round, is the reigning world champion Adrian, Jack.
Yeah, 112 points there then for Adrian, and he sits just 7 ahead of Trastevere, the 2-time champ from previously in MotoGP eSport history. Andrew ZH, the 2019 champ, sits on 95. Not too far back, but certainly a little sizable gap that he wouldn't have wanted to have anyway. And there it is, Piero Ricciuti, the rookie this year, doing the business, 92 points, and that means he's just 20 behind. If he picks up a couple of those wins, he could well vault himself right to being the latest MotoGP eSport champion And as well, Jack, there's certainly plenty behind them that is still up for grabs as well. As we see that Christian's there on 74 from Riccardo Pitaro, not far behind at all, just 5 points back, and only 2 points back from them is the young Brit Jack Hammer. So certainly plenty to play for there between an experienced Christian and 2 rookies, Pitaro and Jack Hammer. And then rounding out the field, we do have Dark Bright, Mr. T and Joel Clay, all within 10 points of each other. And that certainly serves up quite a spicy little prospect coming into the final round of the 2021 Global Series.
So there we go then. Another evening of eSport gaming comes to an end, and it was drama aplenty once again, Jack. And the good news is, heading into our season finale in November, with the top 4 split by 20 points, it means that if any of those 4 men go on and win races 7 and 8 of the 2021 Global Series, that's it, job done. The championship is there. So the request for them, the job for them, is very straightforward going into our final round. Go out and win.
Yep, they've got to be absolutely picture perfect at the final round if they want to eclipse the other 3 fighting for the title, and that's exactly what they're going to try and do. It's certainly going to be spicy, and as we've seen this evening and throughout the rest of the 2021 Global Series, just one little mistake can cost you ever so dearly. So make sure you tune in for round 4, the finale of the Global Series, in just a couple of months' time.
Yep, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I've been Jack Appleyard, Jack Ghost as well, helping me through the process as he does brilliantly week in, week out. And a huge thank you to all the guys behind the scenes here at MotoGP HQ in Barcelona, and most importantly to all of the gamers you can see around the screen as well. Those are the guys providing the entertainment. They do a bloody good job of it as well. Thank you very much to you for joining us as well. As we said, we shall see you in November for the series finale. You don't want to miss it. Double points on offer. That just surely means double the drama. Don't miss it. Thanks for joining us. See you later.